Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of season 2 for Let's Chat Reality. I'm Michael.
And I'm Molly.
And this season we're doing things a little bit differently. So rather than focusing on one show or one topic per episode, this season we are going to have different segments for each episode that we go through. One is for the love shows, such as The Bachelor, Love is Blind, and then we'll cover all of the news from that variety of reality shows in that segment. Then we'll move on to Bravo, where we talk about any show that we're watching on Bravo, any news coming from those shows. And then we will go through to the competition shows, such as Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge, everything like that. And then the rest of the types of shows that don't fall into those categories, we will cover. So we're gonna start that this episode, and we will start with the segment that we are calling the dating dish. So Molly, why don't you go ahead and get started on that?
Yeah. So, first up in Dating Dish, let's talk about the Golden Bachelor divorce that just came out that Gary and Teresa are divorcing. So, only were married for about 3 months and then they decided to split ways. What are your thoughts on that and your feelings for that, Michael?
I'm sad. I mean, look, of course you want, especially the first golden wedding. Everyone really was high on that first season and loved Gary, loved Teresa. And I think everyone was really hoping that that would work out in kind of this like Trista and Ryan type of way, the first Bachelorette, and it was so successful. It didn't work out that way, unfortunately. It does feel like, in retrospect, things were probably pretty rushed with them getting married. And it seems like the big sticking point in their relationship that they couldn't get past was wanting to live in separate areas, separate states, and they just couldn't come to an agreement on that. And so, I mean, look, that's a very legitimate reason for a relationship not to work, but it's sad. And I think that to me it doesn't really put a stain on the show because so many great seasons of Bachelor, when you look back, didn't necessarily have a successful relationship come from it. But it's just unfortunate. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like just because of the environment of the show, like obviously like we want to root for the couples that come out of it, but in their real lives, like it doesn't always work out that way. And so I feel like just like any normal couple like that comes out of Bachelor World, like it's a big adjustment. They just weren't ready for that, especially in their lives being older, like they weren't ready to leave their families. So it's obviously like they had to put themselves first and do what was best for them, which ultimately meant like splitting up. So it's obviously sad, but wish them both the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you said that Tyler Cameron also had a comment on this, where you said he did put a stain in Bachelor Nation ish, like the world of the Golden Bachelor. So, what are your thoughts on Tyler's
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah, so Tyler was kind of harsh, I would say, in his comments about their divorce. Basically saying that it kind of puts a stain on the whole show because everyone was rooting for them so hard, and then they didn't even really, he said, give it a shot, give it a try. That it only lasted 3 months, and that shows that they weren't necessarily being super authentic about trying to make their relationship work. I don't necessarily know that I agree with that. Like, it's on one hand, like I get what he's saying. Like, it is a really short time for a marriage. Like, especially a marriage where it was on TV and everybody came and it was made such a big deal out of it to only last 3 months. I can understand where he's coming from, but I don't think that I agree with it because I think I would rather, especially, they are older and I think that they kind of know what they want more than a younger couple. And I think younger couples are maybe willing to look past things more and just kind of like be in it for the sake of being in it. Whereas I don't think at their ages that they are willing to do that necessarily. And, they don't want to waste time being together when they know it's not going to work out.
Yeah. Also, I love Tyler, but also he's not in a successful relationship. So, like, what is his opinion on this right now?
Yeah.
So I think he just like wanted to root for them, and it didn't work out. So that was just his opinion of it. But
Yeah, and
Um,
he knows, look, he knows that he's trying to promote his show. He knows
yeah,
that a comment like that is going to make headlines.
yeah, he's doing everything for that right now, which can't blame him. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
so then moving on, we have another breakup, unfortunately, in the Bachelor world, with Greg and Victoria. They started dating right around when Paradise was filming last summer. They got leaked that they were together in Italy together, and then ended up being that that was before the show ended. So people were upset seeing Victoria with Greg already, but it definitely seemed that they were definitely a strong couple. Like they were moving pretty quickly. So this breakup announcement, I feel like has been in like, or there wasn't really a full announcement, just in the works of the breakup chatter has been in the news
Hmm.
cycles for a few months now. It seems like. So now there is confirmation they have broken up. They don't follow each other on Instagram anymore. So I really was rooting for them, and I feel like they're also both gonna be at Nick and Natalie's wedding. So that's going to be
Oh,
interesting because Nick and
interesting.
Natalie were the ones basically introduced them when they
Oh, I
met.
didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting time if they're both there together. I mean, we haven't
Yeah.
seen pictures of them at all recently, so I'll be interested to see how that is at the wedding. But what are your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I don't. I have to say I don't know a ton about the ins and outs of their relationship. But yeah, I mean, like that was 2 years ago, right? That they
Yeah,
got
I
together
meant
that
the
last summer. Yeah.
last
Okay.
summer, not this most recent summer.
Oh, okay.
So two
Yeah, I was
summers
gonna
ago. I
say.
feel like I'm surprised that it's almost summer right now. So I keep thinking like
I know.
I
Yeah.
I need
Right.
to
Even last summer was
realize
almost
that
a year ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're further along in the year than I think we are.
I know. No, me too. So yeah, I mean that's look, they lasted a pretty long time. Their relationship wasn't even on TV technically. Like we didn't see their story at all. Which like in a weird way to me makes me feel like it's been longer, I guess, than it has been, just because I don't remember watching it recently on TV when then I realized that I didn't watch it at all on TV. But I mean, it's one of those things like I think that it had its run, and I think that it seems like from I haven't read anything about like any cheating accusations or anything like super scandalous or nasty, so it just kind of seems like maybe it ran its course, and they weren't meant to be together. So yeah, sad for them, but hopefully they will find the right person for each of them.
Yes, for sure. Well, so now for more happy news, moving into the Netflix reality dating world. In the Ultimatum season 2, Ryan and James were on that season, and they are now expecting their first child. So that's really exciting. Another Ultimatum baby. So any thoughts on that? Just happy for them?
Yeah, we covered that season of The Ultimatum on our podcast. And it was one of those seasons where actually it was the only season where everybody stayed together afterwards. So I'm a little bit surprised that just in thinking back to how long ago that must have filmed, I think that's the first couple from that season that has had a child so far. So that I'm super happy for them. I know Vanessa Lachey is somewhere very excited as well. And yeah, they always seemed like a very compatible, good couple. James, famously from that season, was not compatible with his trial marriage partner at all whatsoever. So I think, you could tell the difference between him with her and versus with Ryan. And so, yeah, I really liked Ryan and super happy for them.
Yes, for sure. And I'm sure we're going to see more pictures or process of her maternity journey. So that will be fun to see as well.
Yes, for sure.
And then moving into our next and last dating dish update for this week is that we hear Megan Fox finally reacting to Chelsea's comparison of her from Olympus Vine this past season. So we know that was very much in the news of everyone saying, "Oh my gosh, Chelsea is not like Megan Fox," but Megan Fox has come out to say, "Oh, this is fun." Like she acknowledged that she did hear this, and so she knows who Chelsea is. I saw a video that Chelsea was like, "My day is made because Megan Fox knows who I am." So I think it was all just like for fun, like no hard feelings. It was just more just like a lighthearted response.
Yeah, no, she said, I'll read the quote here. She said, I've had a lot of people text me and stop me, even other celebrities at Oscar parties were like, do you watch Love is Blind? And she's like, no, but I know what you're talking about. And, um, basically she said that nobody deserves to get bullied, that she doesn't deserve that. People went way too hard. It doesn't, she hasn't watched it herself, so she didn't have any specific comments on it in any detail, but just basically saying, everybody calm down. This is not like the end of the world. She's allowed to, even if she thinks it herself or said that other people ask her, whatever it is, like, it's a silly thing, and, everybody who's sending her hate over that is just ridiculous. So. I think we can now officially put season 5 or season 6 of Love Is Blind to bed.
Yeah, for sure. So now let's get into Breaking by Bravo.
Yes, Breaking by Bravo is what we are calling this segment, where we are going to go through some of the Bravo news from the past week. So first, last episode we covered Vanderpump Rules, The Valley, and Summer House. We've had a couple of additional episodes since then of each of those shows. So Molly, I know you're caught up. Do you have any additional thoughts from any of those 3 shows since what we talked about previously?
Yeah, I feel like the episodes have been pretty interesting lately, or just like overall, the shows have been really, I've been really enjoying watching them because this is my first time seeing Summer House. So, obviously, really into Summer House right now and seeing the dynamics with Carl and Lindsay still. And I feel like we're kind of seeing more, a little bit unfold with that. And then also with this new balloon guy, some more drama in the house.
Yeah,
Which
what do you think of Balloon Guy?
I don't know. I feel like they brought him in just to start this drama with Gabby and Danielle. Like, I don't really know what his plot line is here. Like, it's just like some attractive man and they want to cause
Yeah.
drama with him. Um,
It's
so
funny because, like, I mean, they kind of very briefly touched on it, but I'm sure you don't really have this backstory that when Gabby was new to the show last season, and when she came in, she had a history with Danielle that Danielle didn't know about really because Danielle, if I'm getting this right, and I might be getting Gabby and, no, I think, so Gabby was dating this guy, and then the guy was she found out was cheating on her, and it ended up she was cheating on her with Danielle. And
yeah,
Danielle had no idea either. Like he was playing both of them, and so she wasn't mad at Danielle for it, but they had that history, and now it's funny because they're kind of both going after balloon guys, so they have the same taste in men, I guess.
yeah. So I guess we're gonna see that unfold a little bit more, but I think it's just funny. Like, there's not, so I feel like there's not really a substance there as much as like it's just drama.
It's just a fun, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's a lighthearted, fun thing. I don't think either of them are actually going to end up with balloon guy.
Yeah, but that was fun to see in this most recent episode.
Yeah.
And then in the Valley, we did see Kristen talking with Michelle, which was an interesting combo. I feel like that wasn't really achieving anything in that conversation. There's
Yeah.
still kind of like there's still really no firm answers into like they haven't reconciled. It feels like at this point, like it, and you said like they're not following each other, or Michelle doesn't follow her. That like they're still not friends. So
Yeah, no, Michelle did an Instagram story where she was asked, "Are you friends with Kristen currently?" And she said no. So clearly, I don't know if there is more drama to come that is maybe the cause of why she still has not moved on or forgiven her. Like there could be more to come, or they just never resolved this. I don't know, but we do officially have an announcement that there will be a reunion for the Valley.
mhm.
So excited for that,
Yeah, that will be really good to
especially with some
see.
news coming up here. that we will be mentioning in just a minute that really makes me excited for a reunion and glad it hasn't filmed yet.
Yes, for sure. And then Vanderpump, I feel like the Lala stuff is kind of, it's like fun to watch that journey of her like getting a sperm donor and all that. Getting some more like lighthearted content into. I mean, I guess it's not lighthearted. It's like happy news for Lala
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, she's gonna have another baby and doesn't have to have a partner for that. So that's exciting for her.
Yeah, I loved that Lisa's reaction when Lala asked if she could have her sperm donor party at Lisa's house, and Lisa was just like, what type of party is this that we're having at my house? My very elegant, large house that now we are having a sperm donor party at, which I'm not sure that she knew that was a thing or that anyone else knew that was a thing, but it was fun. I liked watching that party. That was something different, than what we normally see on these shows. So at least it was something unique.
Yeah. Anything stood out to you from these recent episodes?
Yeah, so I think with Summer House, the one thing that we really didn't mention was the conversation between Danielle and Paige in this last episode, where Danielle said basically that Paige is giving Craig nothing. Do you agree with that based on what you've seen? And I know, again, you don't have all the history with it, with their relationship necessarily, but from what you've seen, do you think that that's true, or is Paige, kind of doing what she can?
Yeah, I don't really believe what Danielle's saying in that. I think that also Danielle's not the one in the relationship itself. So I believe that with Paige and Craig, if like their situation is working out, like they're happy with what's going on in their relationship, then like it seems that it's going well. Like, I mean, they're still together to this day. So obviously, like things are good. I think Paige is just like busy in her life in New York and like she's doing what she can to put in what she can for it. But obviously, like there's get ebbs and flows in any relationship. So maybe she was just noticing a time like more recently that she wasn't putting in as much, but I don't think it's detrimental at all.
Yeah, I think like the problem here is that they can't break the fourth wall. And that is so important in this situation because the thing is, Paige is on Summer House that is about people that live in New York or the Hamptons. And Craig is on a show, Southern Charm, that's about people that live in Charleston, South Carolina. And so he can't leave there because that's his job, is being on that show. We're about people that live in that city. And Paige is on a show that is about people that live in her city. And so they're both on their respective shows. And they have to kind of figure out, like, okay, is like if one of our shows gets canceled or if we're like not if one of us gets moved over to another show full time, then we can move. But the way things are right now, like without one of them quitting their jobs, they can't do that. And so I think that's the thing. And it's so funny because on Southern Charm this past season, the whole group was saying, "Where's Paige? We want to see more of Paige." And on Summer House now, they're all saying to Paige, "We want to see more of Craig. Where's Craig?" And it's again the thing of like, okay, my significant other can't be full time on two different shows. Like, he's off filming his show, she's off filming her show. They make guest appearances on each other's, but it's a different production companies. It's a little more complicated than just being able to say like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be here all the time now. So I think that's the problem, and it's like I think what's frustrating Paige is that she's like, okay, Danielle, you know that that's the problem, like, and you're forcing me to have this argument with you, and I can't be fully honest, and you know that, and like that's I think probably where a lot of the frustration comes in.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's hard when their lives are just in different states, but they want to make it work. So it's just hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested though to see in the next like couple of years where that goes and if there is some sort of like movement there because I just don't know. I don't know which way it would go. Like I feel like there's no easy answer there for either of them and I just can't really see either of them being willing to do that and I wonder if that does end up being kind of the reason why they maybe end up not together because they just can't come to an agreement on that. And I don't know, maybe they just they get engaged, get married, and live half time in one city, half time in the other. I don't know. But I do hope that they are able to work out because I really do love both of them.
Yeah, me too.
Now, next here, we have a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City update with Monica Garcia. She is pregnant with her fifth child. Unexpected pregnancy from her. She says she took the pregnancy test, could not believe it, and so she had to go in to urgent care and take it again. And she thought it was a false positive the first time, and she's 39 years old. So this is definitely was not planned by her. She's not. I think she has a boyfriend, I guess, who this is the father, but she's certainly not married, engaged, anything to him. So yeah, this was a surprise to her, but happy for her.
Yeah, no, I know, and she announced it on the Vile Files.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yes, she did.
so I remember listening like the episode or two before Monica's episode came out. Nick was saying that this was gonna create headlines, and I was like, "What's
Oh,
gonna create
right.
headlines?" And obviously, having a baby is gonna create headlines. So that's exciting for
I thought it
her.
was gonna be she was gonna do some big reveal about reality Von Tease,
Oh,
like about
honestly,
somebody knowing or proof of Lisa or Heather knowing about it beforehand or something like that. That's where my brain was going, not at all to a pregnancy.
no, I didn't even know she was dating someone, so I really wouldn't have thought of a pregnancy then.
I mean, I don't think it's anything like super serious, so I think that's why we didn't even know about it. It
Yeah,
certainly
well, I
wasn't
think she's
public.
keeping it private, like it
Yeah.
purposely. So maybe that's part of it too. But happy for her. She's gonna be having her fifth child, so that's exciting.
Yes, for sure. Now, kind of going back a little bit to the Valley, um, this is big breaking news that I'm sure we will hear more about in the coming days. But Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor have unfollowed each other on Instagram, and rumors are swirling that Jax has allegedly hooked up with their publicist, Lori. Now, Lori is the publicist for a bunch of people from the Bachelor world, from the Bravoverse. I mean, like Hannah and Dylan from The Bachelor, she's their publicist. Um, Allegedly, they are in Canada, Jax and Lori, and they hooked up. Some fans, I believe, have submitted some blind items about this, and seems like there is some legitimacy to it due to the fact that Brittany has unfollowed him and he's unfollowed her. Now, I think there's, I'm sure, more to come with this, but um, do you believe it, I guess, based on what we know now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if there's been different people reporting on it, like it's definitely something to believe. Also, I don't trust Jack, so like that sounds like something he would do. So it's not
Oh,
out of
yeah.
character. So that I also believe in that sense that this probably happened, and I just feel bad for Brittany.
Yeah.
And at least now they are getting separated, but she has in the past dealt with similar things of him cheating on her, and she doesn't deserve that. So now at least she's free.
I guess the other question is Jax doing anything wrong necessarily if they are separated and he's hooking up with her? I guess in my mind, the only thing is like, it's their publicist. Like, I mean, if it was some random person, then maybe, it's okay if there's, I don't know. And I don't know exactly what they're, it seems like they are still so close even though they're separated. So I guess that's and maybe Brittany's trying to work on it. So that's also probably the issue. But yeah, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I did hear that she moved out of that house.
Yeah.
And Zach shared this on the Biofiles. Zach from also from the
Oh,
Valley.
yeah.
And so he was giving a little bit of insight into that, basically saying like they have a child together, so like they still have to see each other, like they're in each other's lives, but like it's not good for her. Obviously, like Jax says this kind of stuff, but like she kind of has to accept, not accept it, but like live with it at this point. Like these are the decisions he's making. So maybe like she just got really upset over the fact that it was the publicist of like that he had sex with, but like in general, if they are separated, then I guess it's not like cheating, but it's still not good.
Right, right. And I think especially if they are trying to work on things too and potentially get back together, because I think that's what a lot of people kind of assume when this separation was first announced. People were like, "Oh, this is just to promote the show. They're going to be back together, like once the show airs and they're filming season 2, we're going to see them together." And this, to me, kind of puts the nail in that coffin potentially. I mean, now it feels like it's getting ugly, and I don't necessarily see a future with them together. But look at Marcus and Larsa. Look at how many times they've broken up and gotten back together and unfollowed each other and everything. So who knows?
I hope for Brittany's sake she does not get back with Jax.
I agree. I think she is much better off without him. And I think that I don't think she'll see it until she gets in a new relationship with somebody who really like treats her well. And then I think she'll say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I was dealt with Jax and everything he put me through for so many years." So I think that will be what really kind of sparks uh, some regret in her and really opens her eyes to what she went through with him. So we'll see. We will see. Now, last Monday was a crazy day in the Bravo verse. Every time you opened Instagram, Twitter, anything, it felt like there was some new breaking news going on. So I am just going to quickly run through everything that happened because I know, Molly, you do not watch any of these shows, so you're not going to necessarily have opinions on any of these, but I will just kind of quickly run through it and give very quick thoughts. So first, we have Candice Dellard-Bassett has announced that she is pregnant. She just recently announced that she's leaving Real Housewives of Potomac after 6 seasons, and she is now saying that this was a big part of her decision to leave, was the fact that she got pregnant and wanted to, go through this with a little more privacy, I think, than she would have been able to if she was on the show during that time. Sticking with Real Housewives of Potomac, Robin Dixon has officially announced that she was fired from the show. There were rumors about that for the last few weeks, but it's now official. She said she was waiting until the reunions finished airing and the show officially finished season 8 before she made this announcement. She's one of the few to actually just flat out say that she was fired, which I respect that. You don't see that very often. Most people say, "Oh, I decided that I wanted to move on and pursue other opportunities or what have you," and they'll make up something, and Bravo lets them do that and goes along with it. But it's pretty rare that you have someone just come out and say I was fired. So I respect that and I appreciate that honesty. Real Housewives of Miami, Alexia and Todd are getting a divorce. This was, I would say, pretty surprising, although there certainly were clues last season of the show that they were having some issues. They were having financial issues, allegedly, and, you kind of saw him not really participate much in filming last season, but still kind of surprised because I don't think Alexia was ever going to make that decision, but I guess it seems like Todd did, so hopefully they will start filming soon so we can see that along with everything going on with Larsa and Marcus. It'll be a pretty interesting season, it seems like. Real Housewives of Orange County, Jen Pedranti is officially engaged to her boyfriend Ryan. We saw them, they joined Orange County Housewives last season, and there were a lot of kind of weird things going on between them, and so this seems like maybe a little bit of a ominous engagement that might not end well, but we'll see. I hope for the best for them. And then lastly, Crystal Kung Minkoff is leaving Real Houses of Beverly Hills after 3 seasons. Now, I would say I'm not shocked by this. She didn't bring a whole lot to last season, but Anne Marie Wiley, who also uh, left Beverly Hills after this past season. Um, Funny thing, a few days ago when this was announcement was made, Emery went on a Twitter rant and started arguing with a fake Crystal account that she thought was the real Crystal. And she was saying like these horrible things, this fake Crystal account. And Anne Marie thought it was really Crystal, and so she just started like going off on her, and everyone's trying to tell her that it's a fake account, and she's not having any of it. And as far as I know, I think the tweets are still up days later. So that was just kind of a funny little side note that happened. But yeah, that was a crazy day. All of these announcements happened in one day.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, that was a pretty crazy day. And it was really funny because also it was the first day since the Obama presidency that there were no new active housewives airing. And yet we had the craziest housewives news day of all time.
They were just
So
waiting for Monday to announce everything.
I know it was wild. But anyways, we can close out of the Breaking by Bravo segment, and let's move on to the competition chat. So this is kind of our headline story, I would say, of the episode that The Circle season 6 came out with its new season for the first time in over a year. It's been a while since we had a new Circle season. The first 4 episodes have dropped. Molly, I know we are both caught up on these. What did you think of the new season so far?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I watched the first 2 seasons of The Circle and then I kind of fell off and like didn't watch the others that were airing, but then now like I wanted to get back into it obviously. And I really like The Circle and it's also fun, which we'll dive more into this as well, having the twist with the AI
Yeah.
bot that's in this mix of not just catfishes, also an AI chat that's actually creating these conversations. So that's a really interesting concept that they're implementing this season, which I think adds a lot of dynamic layers to that, and it's just fun to see like who they think is AI and who's real and like all that kind of stuff. So I'm really enjoying this season. I think the cast is really good as well. I feel like there's a good mix of personalities and different kinds of people. So it's been really fun to watch. What about you?
I agree. I'm really into this season, and I did watch all of the last 5 seasons before this, but I really felt like the last couple, I was more and more kind of getting a little tired of it and felt like it was an interesting concept in the beginning that I think I felt like didn't have a ton of longevity to it just because like it's kind of one of the things where it's like this crazy concept that you see and then it's like okay like now it's just kind of this more of the same every season and it felt like a lot of the cast that they had were kind of these like stereotypical like big personalities that felt kind of forced. I don't know. But I really like this cast. I think that like you said, the AI of it all does add a really interesting element to it. That I think is one of those things, and what I like about it is that it's something that is very circle. Like it feels like it's something that another show couldn't do. And so I like that they're taking advantage of their format and adding a different type of twist that we couldn't see on something like Survivor or Big Brother. And so I think that that was a great move on their part and really feels timely. AI is such a big thing right now, and it feels fresh and exciting, and I like the cast so far overall. So yeah, I'm into these first 4 episodes. I do wish that we had had like at least one elimination. It feels weird that we watched 4 episodes and still haven't had a single person leave. So that's like kind of I would say like one little mark against it. I wish that they had just ended episode 4 with the elimination, but I overall, yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, I was
Do
really
you have?
surprised. Oh yeah, I was really
No,
surprised
go
at the
ahead.
end that they didn't announce anyone leaving. Like I was like, wait, yeah, we should have had someone gone by now. um,
Yeah, because it felt like episode 3 even, like we were starting to like kind of go through that elimination process, and then by the end of 4 we still haven't had that conclusion yet. I kind of wish that maybe like at the beginning of episode 4 we would have started with the elimination maybe, and then like kind of we could have ended on a different cliffhanger at the end of the episode. Like we would have started the next round and ended on that. I don't know. I feel like there's a way that they could have done it with still ending on a cliffhanger that we could have had our elimination and gotten that satisfaction at least.
For sure.
Do you have any favorites, least favorites so far?
Um, I need to pull up their names, honestly.
I'll here. I have
Okay,
it. I have it right here.
you have. Can you just name some of them?
No, I don't. I thought I had it. Hold on, just a second. Let me get it pulled up. I do have it somewhere here.
Okay. I like
Here we go. I
QT.
got it.
So far, I like
Yes.
QT.
Yeah,
She's really fun.
I like it.
Yeah, I feel like she's real and like a fun person that throughout the season. I hope she stays on it for a
Hmm.
while. Um, and I feel like I don't think Paul's making it too far just because of people already onto him or her as like a catfish there. So I would say Paul's not my favorite. So those are like my
So
favorite, least favorite.
Paul, you know, so Paul, Caress, who plays Paul,
Yeah.
she is so Paul is a real guy. He is the guy who sings the Lil Boo Thing song. He's
Oh,
famous.
really?
Did you know that? Yeah.
I didn't realize he was like a real person. I mean, he was a real person, but I didn't realize he was like that.
No, she's really his sister.
Oh, wait, that's so funny.
Yeah, but she's like 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when they keep saying like he's a rapper, like yeah, he's a pretty famous rapper now. I mean, he has like one hit song. Like it's not like he's Usher, but like he he's pretty big right now.
Yeah. I also really like Lauren. I feel like she's really sweet and I think she's fun
Yeah.
to watch. So those would be my first initial feelings for the cast. What about you?
So I actually do like Miles. I did not expect to like him, but I think he's playing a pretty good game, and I like him more than I thought I would.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I like QT. I think she would be probably at least my second favorite right now. I think Cassie has funny one-liners. I mean, like where she, just kind of like doesn't know anything, is funny. And I like her story too, that she catfished her ex-husband to find out that he was cheating on her.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
that
so
was a
good.
really great story. So yeah, I think it's overall there's nobody on there that I'm like really just sick of and really dislike. And I look, Max the I kind of like him.
Me too.
I think if I did not know that he was I would like want him in my alliance. So AI is doing a good job here.
Yeah, and it's no one's just suspecting it except for a little bit of Olivia. Brandon is suspecting a little bit of Max, but no one else has said anything about Max, at least what we've seen.
Yeah.
Which is also really impressive, I feel like, because now they know that this is a twist, so like they're aware there's an AI in the competition, which is also interesting because they announced that like pretty quickly into it. They could have like let it be for a little bit and then told them, but they announced
Hmm.
it pretty quickly on. But I really do like Max. Like I'm rooting for Max, honestly. Like I'm like yes, go
I
AI.
know, I am too. Um, who do you think that Miles will end up eliminating?
I was trying to think because I honestly, I mean, I feel like it's between Steffi and Paul.
Yeah.
And I feel like his gut's telling him Steffi, even though that's like Steffi is actually real. Like that's her. So I don't want to root for that, but I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it seemed like most people wanted that, and at this early on in the game, you kind of want to do what most people want because that's such an easy out to be like, I kind of had to go with the majority here. And I feel like even the people who wanted the other option would understand that. So I think that kind of is what he has to do right now.
Yeah. Well,
But
I just
yeah, so we will keep updated on that as the rest of the episodes drop weekly for the next few weeks. And let's move on to some Survivor. So, Maya, I know you are up to date on Survivor as well. We have not talked about it since the premiere, so a lot has happened since then. We had a pretty wild tribal council this last episode, where Q was threatening to, or I guess asking to be voted out of nowhere. And Tevin ended up leaving. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the season so far? Let's just say as a whole, and then we can kind of go into thoughts on that tribal and the last episode.
yeah, I've actually really been enjoying this season. I feel like there's been a lot of things going on every episode.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's like because they're an hour and a half episodes, so like we get more of the conversations that we get to see that necessarily we didn't always get to see in the previous season. So that's always great to see like more of that strategy talk and conversations pre-tribal, but also pre-competitions. Like throughout the week, we're seeing those conversations, which I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I feel like these tribals have also been really crazy lately. Like, as last week's episode, we saw the blind side for Soda, which she was not expecting that. And then the things that came out from that, which with Venus and Tevin was all kind of funny with Venus claiming that it was her move and then Tevin saying it was his. And then Liz was like, I was thinking Soda for so long. Like, what's going on? So I like that side of it where we're getting to see like these human interactions a little bit too, more so. And I think the strategy like sometimes feels a little bit haphazard for some of these people, but like kind of works for some like in certain cases. That's what's going on. So I'm just interested to see what continues to happen throughout the season because I feel like every episode I'm just shocked of what's going on. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that pre-merge, I wasn't so high on this season. I think that it's always a little bit hard when you have like the same tribe losing over and over again for so long, and it felt like there was a little bit of maybe like a mean streak going on with some people, which isn't, always the most fun to watch, especially after I feel like the last couple seasons that have been so good and so many likable people too, that it felt like, oh, maybe these people aren't quite as likable as the last few. But now that we've gotten to the merge, I feel like the last couple of episodes have been really, really good. And I'm starting to get really invested and liking this season a lot more. So, I mean, like I said, this last tribal was just really bonkers. I'm not sure what I think about Q's whole monologue. Like, I'm not sure whether it was gameplay or authentic, and I'm excited to see. I'm sure at the beginning of the next episode that he'll explain it more, whether it's to everybody at camp or to us in a confessional. But what do you think? Do you think that he was really wanting to quit, or was that strategy, or a little of both?
Yeah, I don't know. I was really caught off guard by that. Also, his what I was also I forgot to mention this part with his like strategy of thinking of let's play hide and seek and whoever is the
Oh yeah.
hardest has to leave and I was like okay like sure. So I feel like some of his ideas like sometimes he thinks they're really good ideas and then they're not. Like I think that could have been one of them like in this tribal like thinking what he was saying was a really good idea. And then everyone's just like, what is going on with him? And then obviously they stuck with their plan. But now it's going to cause a lot of this conversation of like, well, we can't trust him. Like, he's just a wild card of what he says. Like, what he does here, like, is just not going to be great for an alliance long term. Like, it's fine for right now. Maybe like there's still a lot of people left, so it's like maybe not as big of a threat right now. But later on in the game, like, definitely will want to be taking him out.
I agree. I think that this really lowered his stock in the game because how can you trust him as an ally if at any moment he could just say, again, like, oh yeah, I want to leave. And then if you're including him in your numbers, like clearly he can't be trusted to be a solid, reliable player for you. So yeah, I think that whatever he was trying to do there completely backfired on him.
Yeah, and he was
um,
also, I think he was bringing up in the beginning of the tribal as well when he was talking about his conversation with Hunter with like he was saying it in like a much like more subtle way, but he was talking about he could have messed things up by talking to
oh yeah,
Hunter. But then like Hunter also didn't even vote with them. Like Hunter voted for Venus, which was
right.
interesting. So I feel like Hunter is now a little bit on the outs, and I feel for him because I feel like I was rooting for Hunter, and now I'm like I don't know how long he's gonna last because he is a really good physical competition beast. Like he's
People are starting to notice, I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I mean, even in the challenge when he was hanging up on the pole and then he decides to just like go upside down and like, I mean, that's just like not smart. Like, don't do things like that. That just shows like, oh wow, you could have been up there for 10 more hours. Like, that's dangerous. Like, I think just winning normally, nobody would have really thought anything of it like spectacular. But that was just things like that are just like you don't need to make your threat level any higher than it absolutely has to be.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
so we'll
will
have
see.
to see. Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah.
just curious. I know I felt bad for Tevin, though. I really was rooting for him. He was a great player, but definitely was a good threat. So it was smart for them to take him out.
And I'm glad that Venus didn't leave. I feel like she has potential, not necessarily to like win the season, I mean maybe, but like she's just a really entertaining player to watch. I think where she's not just going to go with the majority, not just going to go with the crowd, whether it's smart or not. Like she is going to share her opinion and do what she wants to do and what she thinks is the best move. And a player like that is really fun to watch. So I'm glad that she's making it further than maybe it initially seemed she would. So, yes, we will continue to keep everybody updated on the rest of the season. So let's move on to a couple of brand new shows that have been announced that are filming. First is a very unique format here. Peacock has greenlit its first ever, or the first ever maybe, wildlife reality competition show titled The Hungry Games Alaska's Big Bear Challenge. The show follows Alaskan bears as they bulk up for the winter, but the bears are unaware that their progress is being tracked and ranked by viewers at home.
Interesting.
I'm still completely unsure what the show is. um, but I think that in season two, we're going to have to really watch because these bears are going to just be in it for the Instagram followers. And, it's going to be inauthentic at that point. Like, they're not there for the right reasons anymore.
Oh
So.
my gosh.
I
That's
I don't
funny.
know
So
what I mean. Like, I saw one tweet where someone was like, "Oh, they're gonna have to lie to the Bears after the season and tell them that they're on a different show to get them on,
yeah, what do
like
they
they
think
do
is
on Too
gonna
Hot to
happen?
Handle." Like,
Oh my gosh. Wait, that would be so good. That's like this is a crossover I did not expect to see. But interested to see what happens of this. I don't really have much more thoughts because I'm also confused of what this is gonna be.
yeah, I have no idea, but it is unique.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious. It has piqued my curiosity. I will say that. And I have no idea what this is. Yeah, what this is gonna end up being like. But I'm curious, and I'm sure I don't know if it's filmed yet, but I would be. I'm very curious to see the trailer. So I hope that it comes soon.
Also, I like the name, The Hungry Games. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
So we will keep you updated as we hear more about that. But a show that I think we do have a better idea of is a Netflix show that is filming called Bandcamp, and it is kind of a challenge-esque competition show where they have a bunch of Netflix reality all-stars from different shows coming together for a competition show. So it's different than Perfect Match, which is kind of another all-star Netflix show, but that's a dating show. So this is a competition show more similar to the challenge. So we do have a spoiled cast. Now, not sure if this is full cast. There might be some names missing here, but I'll just kind of run through the cast that's been announced. If you don't want to know, stop, pause, fast forward for the next 2 minutes. But we have first two from the season of The Circle that we just talked about. QT and Kyle are both on this. We have Nick from season 3 of The Circle. Shuby from season 1 of The Circle. Love Shuby. Trey and Lorenzo from Squid Game The Challenge. Trey, you might remember, was with his mom, Leanne. We love Trey and Leanne. So excited for them. Avery from The Mole, season 1. Antonio from season 2 of The Mole, which has not aired yet, but has been filmed. We have Chase Damore, of course, because it's a show, so he's on it. We have Georgia from Too Hot to Handle. Lewis from Too Hot to Handle. Gio and Polly from Selling the OC. We have Gabby and Morgan from Cheer. Get ready for this one. We have Irina from Love is Blind, season 4. We have Lexi from The Ultimatum Queer Love. And then we have a girl named Brianna from an unknown show. So a show that has not been announced yet. But apparently has been filmed. So that's our spoiled cast. Molly, what do you think of that cast and just, I guess, the concept of the show as a whole?
Yeah, I feel like that cast was pretty strong. I'm excited for it. It's also interesting they brought in people from
Yeah, that was
Cheer.
surprising.
Like yeah, like that's not necessarily I feel like
No, I
reality
feel like it's more
show
like
on
a
Netflix here,
documentary.
but I guess it is. Yeah, so
Yeah.
but good for them. I liked watching
I
Cheer,
never
so
watched it,
I'm happy
actually.
to see them. Oh, it was really
I've
good.
heard very good things. I feel like
Wow, I
that was
didn't
one
hear.
of those like shows that came out
Yeah,
at a time when there was a bunch of other stuff, and like I just didn't have time to watch it. But yeah, now that I know there's two people on it for this show, maybe I'll go back.
yeah, no, it was really good, and it's a really
Okay, good.
quick watch too. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Irina again because she had that villain edit on Love Is Blind, but I feel like she's definitely more than that. So I'm excited to see her in this setting. And overall, I feel like it's going to be interesting, like with the mix of cast members they have in this show. So like a challenge where it's like there's a lot of competitions going on. So there's not going to be as much drama probably, but it'll still be fun to see overall what goes
Yeah,
down.
no, I'm excited for it too, and I hope that it is like the challenge because the challenge there's a lot of drama. It is a competition show, but there's still a ton of drama there. Um, so I hope that it is more like that because I feel like this cast has the potential to bring a lot of drama, and so I hope they kind of let them do that, put them in an environment where that can happen. But yeah, like I'm excited. Look, I'm excited for Irina because she was rumored to be on Perfect Match this upcoming season, and then I guess she wasn't. So I was excited for to see her there. So I'm glad that she is actually seemingly on this. And yeah, I think the cast is pretty strong. Yeah, I feel like there's some big names from these shows, and I am excited to see it. I think, look, Georgia and Chase are always going to be solid standbys for a show like this that you know are going to bring the drama and hookups and all of that good stuff. And Shuby and Trey, I just love as people, so I'm excited to see them again on a show like this. So we'll see. I am excited to learn more about the format. And oh, it's rumored to be hosted by Taylor Lewan, who is apparently a famous football player who I don't know. So we'll see how he does. Uh, but okay, well let's move on to the rest of reality. Molly, do you want to start us off on that?
Yes. Well, speaking of football, Travis Kelsey, we do know as a
Yes.
football player. Also, gonna be doing hosting for Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity on Prime Video. So he's coming into the reality world. I mean, he already did his show, Catching Kelsey, but now he's gonna be a host on the show. So, are you excited to see him as a host? I feel like he's gonna be a great
Yes, I am
host.
excited. And look, this is more of a game show than reality. I kind of, we're sticking it in
Yeah, that's
there
true.
for some, Taylor Swift adjacent content, of course, to celebrate the Torture Poets department. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited for him. I think that this is a really smart, good gig for him to host a game show like this. I could so see him being a really good, likable host on something like this. For those who don't know, this is a kind of like spin-off of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? But it's a little different. Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? So I think they have like a contestant and then a celebrity, and I guess they both answer like grade school questions to see if the contestant can do better than the celebrity or something like that. But yeah, I think that this is the perfect gig for him, and I hope that this kind of starts out his career. Maybe he can host kind of a more reality type show than a game show at some point. And I think that it was a smart move for them to get him for this.
Yeah, all the Swifties will
Yeah.
definitely be watching because we are a
Yes.
cult. No. So, also coming up this week or next week, it's coming up really soon. I feel like it's almost May, so it's crazy. But Selling the OC season 3 is starting on May 3rd, which is coming up soon, as I just said. So it's exciting that it's almost here, and we get to see all that will happen in Selling
Yeah,
the
it feels
OC.
like the season filmed a million years ago. So I'm excited that it's finally coming out. I mean, we were teased this season, like season two came out in September of last year or something like that. So there was already a trailer for the season right when that one ended. And so it feels like we've been waiting for this for so long. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It seems like I mean, we saw the new trailer they dropped last week, and it seems like there's a lot of drama and a lot happening. So I'm excited to delve back into that world and see everything that happens.
Yes, and we'll
Yes,
definitely be
100%.
talking about that after that airs. So we'll be sure to discuss our thoughts on
Definitely.
everything with that. Um, and then moving into another news story, which is sad, but we saw that from American Idol season 5, alum Mandisa has died at 47, which is sad. That's so young,
Yeah.
but hopefully everything is okay. Do you know
I
what
don't think
happened?
they've officially announced the cause of death yet. I don't know that they know, but she has dealt with depression in the past, I believe, and so I think she was found in her apartment or in her house, and so I think that they kind of assumed that something related to that. We don't know exactly how it happened, but yeah, very sad. I mean, like American Idol season five, where when she was on, was like my favorite American Idol season. It was like one of the seasons that really got me like so hooked on not only that show but reality TV in general. I mean, that was 2006. Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, she was so young and she was so likable on that show. I mean, Simon Cowell in her audition famously was so mean to her, and it really got everybody up in arms. And then she became a fan favorite and made it pretty far. I think she was ninth place that season, so she was on there for a long time. And yeah, it's really sad. I know they're going to honor her on American Idol next week. They just announced. So I'll be excited to see what they do for that.
Yeah. No, I remember hearing her name, but I didn't watch that season. But no, that name was so
Yeah.
popular. So I'm like,
The
wow,
show was, I
that's
mean,
sad.
so big
Um,
back then that, yeah, like you knew all the names of the final 10 or so, even if you didn't watch the show. They just all became pretty big names and, household names. And so, yeah, very sad.
yeah, we'll hope her family
Yes.
all the best and healing. But yeah, that's sad news. But to end on a more happy note, are you excited for any shows this coming week that are going to be airing or releasing new episodes?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the one I'm most looking forward to is Vanderpump Rules, actually, because we have Jax coming back to Vanderpump Rules this upcoming week. He is having a conversation with Lisa for the first time in years, which is exciting to see what goes down there because they did not end on a good note. And the last episode of season 8, which was Jackson Brittany's last season, he famously went up to Lisa and said, "This is my show," and Lisa said, "No, it is my show," and that was the last we saw of him. So I'm excited to see their first conversation, seemingly at least first conversation on the show since then. And we see Jax versus Katie, a little preview of their argument that has been on the commercials for this upcoming episode. So I'm excited to see that. And yeah, I mean, look, all the shows are good. Summer House is so great right now, so always excited for that. But what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Hmm.
Survivor because of this cute drama, seeing what goes down this next episode of how that all is aired out. But that will be interesting to see and who goes home next episode as
Yes,
well.
definitely.
Yeah. But we've got lots of reality TV going on right now, and thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode of season 2. And definitely let us know your thoughts on our new breakouts of all these segments. And if you have any questions or thoughts on any of it, we'd love to hear. And make sure that you follow us on our Instagram at Let's Chat Reality. And we'll
Yes, and
talk
we
to
are
y'all
also
next
going
week.
to be starting to put out episodes on YouTube. So follow us there as well as our Instagram. So, yes, just wanted to shout that out as well.
Yes. Yes, definitely. If you like watching on YouTube, follow us there so you can see our faces as we're talking about this, our pretty faces. And we will talk with y'all
Bye, everyone.
soon.